So you are starting to read a book now, you are reading a biography, you are reading about some person, fine. There is a certain method to it, there is a certain process to it. See, if you read about Bill Gates, let us say, if you read about Bill Gates, do you think by doing everything that Bill Gates did, you will start another Microsoft or you will build another Microsoft? Probably not. Why? Because what Bill Gates did, he did in the time when it was ripe to build a Microsoft. Fine. Do you think if you did everything that Warren Buffett did then, you would build another company like him? Probably not, because what he did then was in that environment. But then why do we read autobiographies? You don't learn what they did. That is a small part of the learning. The real thing to learn from these books is not what these people do, but how these people think. That's what you learn from biographies. Not what these people do, but how these people think. Once you understand how they think, then you learn how they put their thoughts into action, how they filter their thoughts, how they prioritize, how they make sure that they are doing what is important and not doing what is useless. Look at our own lives, there are so many useless things that we are consistently doing, right? Can we cut them off? Can we learn that from these people? Their way of thinking, then their way of putting their thoughts into action, and their way of prioritizing things, doing different things differently. That's what you learn from a biography. So every day after you are done with your reading, I want you to put 2 questions in your head. Just 2 questions in your head. Okay? You don't have to sit and think about these 2 questions. Just think a little bit so that these questions will be taken up by your brain, and in the back end, in the background, this thinking will be happening. Here are the 2 questions. If I was in a situation that you read, let us say that day you read a certain situation about that person, if you were in that situation, what would you have done? If you were in that situation, what would you have done? How is this person different? What would you have done? What has this person done? What is the change in thinking? And how you can develop that thinking. Then another way to do this is you think of your own situation, your own environment, your own surrounding, your own people, your own relationships, your own work, your own business, your own job, your own social life, whatever it is. And whenever you read about this person, imagine that person is in your place. How do you think that person would manage your situation? How do you think that person would manage your contexts? How do you think that person would have taken care of things, taken charge of things if that person was in your shoes? 2 ways to think. What would you have done in that person's situation, and then what is the gap? 2, what do you think that person would have done in your situation, and then what is the gap? That is what, and that is how you learn from biographies. There is a lot to learn from awesome people, from achieved people. See, let me tell you this. If there is somebody who has really achieved a lot, what are the 2 choices you have? You either admire the person or you feel jealous of the person. Correct? You either admire the person or you feel jealous of the person. Which one is better? Think, which one is better? Admiring the person or being jealous of the person? Which one is better? Most of you are probably thinking admiring is better. Let me tell you, both are useless. Admire, how does it help you? Being jealous, how does it help you? What is important is not whether you admire or be jealous of the person, how do you model that person? What do you learn from that person, and how do you implement it in you? What do you think is good for you from that person? You can filter the rest, take that what is good, and how do you implement it in you, and how do you become a new version of yourself? Right? That's called modeling. How do you model yourself, or how do you model that person to yourself? That's going to change the game for you. So keep these things in mind as you read this autobiography and any biography later as well. And that will change the way you read biographies and autobiographies. Thinking. And to know how they think, you will have to think like them. You will have to think what you would do in that situation. You will have to think what that person would do in your situation. And that's how you build and develop your thinking. Fine? So keep this in mind. Continue your reading, update your mind maps, move your eyes faster. Everything else remains the same, and I look forward to see you in another wonderful tip tomorrow.